शिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Rebirth, a fantasy or reality? Morning satsang subject. I have some quotations and discoveries, inventions, opinions of researchers and scientists. Roger J. Ulger, a psychotherapist of modern age, gives evidences for diseases that got cured when the past life trauma was removed. He quotes, "Woman's chronic migraine disappeared after reliving the agony of a 7-year-old dying from the head wounds inflicted with an iron bar wielded by her father." These are some of the direct experiences of the people who work in the line of past life, regression. Ulger refers to the physical manifestations of apparent past life experiences as inherited structures. The physical manifestations of apparent past life experiences as inherited structures. A weak stomach may carry past life memories of poisoning, starvation and dysentery. Is right. If you have the past life memory of poisoning, dysentery or starvation, your stomach can be weak. Not only that, even if you see continuously people who starve are poisoned, having dysentery, understand? Even if you see, because whenever you see psychological weakness or physiological weakness, the first thing you do is put yourself in that position and see. That is the basic nature of human being. That is the root of social conditioning. Please understand. All social conditioning is not forced on you by society. Anything happens in society, you put yourself in that position and see, what will I do if I am in that position? That is where you take social conditioning upon you. Society does not condition you, you get conditioned by society. It's totally different. See, there is so much happening. Really, even your parents are not such cruel people to make you like this. No, they are not cruel, they are ignorant. Understand? Only when you understand they are ignorant, you can forgive them and get out of this conditioning. Understand? There is so much happens around. Whenever you put yourself in that position, you associate completely yourself in that position. When you feel the click, that possibility for you to be in that position exists. See, when you see, for example, you are 10 million worth as per the Western language. If you think you are 10 million worth, whenever you see a person 20 million worth, you know the possibility for you to be in his position exists. So all is good part of the life and bad part of the life, you start thinking, contemplating. If I am in his position and if that good thing hits me, what will I do? If that bad thing hits me, what will I do? This is what is your future planning. You know the possibility, it clicks, then you put yourself in that position, and whatever happens in you is called conditioning. Understand? Understand this point, the conditioning. When you feel the click, the possibility for you to exist there exists, immediately you start thinking, putting yourself in that position and start seeing the positive and negative. Positive and negative, and anything happens in you when you contemplate on that positive and negative is called social conditioning. So when somebody is seen food poisoned, starvation, dysentery, you always put yourself in that position. Maybe when it comes to the extreme of food poisoning, you think, no, that may not happen in my life. But there is a possibility of dysentery. What will I do if this happens in me? Immediately, your DNA is conditioned now. Understand? Not only the second layer past, means past life, dysentery, food poisoning and starvation. Even in the first layer past, in past living also, you catch this kind of engrams through putting yourself in that position. Actually, all the calamity and chaos is just because you constantly putting yourself in somebody's position. See, you don't have base on you. You don't get rooted in you. You go on putting yourself in somebody's position. And the ideas which you collected about society, this is the way it should be, this is the way it should be, this is the way it should be, all are just you putting yourself in somebody else's position. When you put constantly yourself in somebody else's position and see, what will I do if that comes to me? What will I do if this comes to me? Oh God, I think it will be great. Oh God, I don't think I can handle. These two are social conditioning. These two are social conditioning. I can see how the past life and past living are almost, you can say almost one and the same. I have to use the word almost because it is not exactly. More than 90% one and the same. All the first layer past life, past living theories can be adapted into second layer past life theory, are all second layer theories which is worthy or which can be adapted in the past lives will be adapted in past living. How you get conditioned by society and constantly entertain, cherish the sufferings and the karma, whether it is in the plane of economy or in the plane of physical health or in the plane of relationships, you always put yourself in somebody's position and plan, what will I do? Oh God, is it not great if I am in his position? or I don't think I'll be able to handle if I'm in his shoes. These two. If you can just avoid these two, as far as your awareness goes, as much as your awareness penetrates, as much as your consciousness goes, just see, your awareness, your consciousness, your intelligence, that much you avoid, that's enough. That's a very beautiful stotra. I'm not able to tell you exactly verse, but I can share that sentiment with you from Kabir. I'm going through some of the great songs of Kabir to learn Hindi. You should learn a language only from a poetry, never from a prose. That is why all our Vedic traditional teaching system was based on poetry. Never prose was written in our Vedic tradition, in no language which took birth from Sanskrit. Whether it is a Tamil, Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam, or Hindi, Bengali, Oriya, all the languages which I know took birth from Sanskrit. I have no writing in prose. The writing in prose has started only few hundred years before. Whether it is a Marathi, any language you analyze, there is no writing in prose, because the methodology of teaching was always through poetry. I think N Vidyalaya should imbibe this system. Learn more. The language teaching and learning should be based on poetry. More poetry based, less prose based. Prose should be only used to explain poetry, but should never be a writing lesson. Writing should always be through poetry. When you learn a language through poetry, you will be a poet. See, being a poet is not just an intellectual capability, it is an existential reality. See, there are some things which are not intellectual capability, existential reality. If there is no gap between your intellectual capabilities and existential realities, you are enlightened. That's all. See, whatever you are showing to the world, poetry, writing, singing, dancing, or spiritual knowledge, whatever you are showing to the world, if it is your existential reality, you are enlightened. If you don't show anything to the world and you don't have anything, and being not having anything is your existential reality, you are enlightened. There are so many people, I know. They have not shown anything to the world, any intellectual capability, and they did not have. They are enlightened. They lived an enlightened life. The Mauni Babas, Pahul mystics, Tantric saints, wandering monks, Parivrajaka acharyas, they did not show any extraordinary intellectual capability to the world. They just know they do not have. Whatever they were showing is their existential reality. They are enlightened. Being a poet, being a dancer, being a singer, or being an intellectual orator, or being a writer should be an existential reality, not just intellectual capability. When you teach a language to a child, he should just sing in that language. His whole inner space should be singing, So for the sake of others to understand, he can translate that song into words. That's all. But he himself should be just humming inside. When I read Kabir, that's what I understood. Oh God, this fellow, I know for sure, never had any thoughts in his life. He had only poets in his life. Because you cannot go to that depth of sentiments. Extraordinary sentiments. The sacred sentiments. He is expressing one sacred sentiment. Please don't appear, oh my beloved, don't appear in front of me. Even remembering that you may enter my house, my eyes already come out to see you, to grab your form. Never ever do the mistake of appearing. I don't know what will happen. Understand the second sacred sentiment. I have expressed only one. The second only connects that Kabir's sentiment and the concept which I am talking. The second sentiment is, just because my senses are completely outside my system, outside my prana sarira to grab you, there is nobody to process information and create social conditioning inside. Only if you understand the sacred sentiments. Actually, if you yourself have experienced at least once or twice that your senses are lost in the glory of the master and there is nobody sitting inside doing some social conditioning and grumbling, grudging about who gets more time around master or who gets more attention, or when you yourself have experienced those few moments, or who gets bigger post in the organization, who is in bigger hierarchy in the organization. See, always male suffer with the hierarchy, female suffer with attention. When you don't have that too, just by being lost, the senses are protruding, just going out of your prana sarira to grab him, to grab his presence. If you experience this for a few seconds, then you will understand what Kabir is singing. Because sacred sentiments can be understood only if you had one iota of that understanding. See, if Kabir sings 100 sacred sentiment, if you understand at least one unit of one sentiment as experience in you, only then you can even grab that 100 unit of his pleasure or the intensity of his sacred sentiment. This is one of the basic lessons you need to have to grab the strength of sacred sentiments. That is why when a young man goes to Ramanujacharya, he asks, I want to achieve that parabhakti, devotion, that great devotion. Ramanuja asks, have you loved anybody? Have you fallen in love with somebody in your life? This fellow says, no, what nonsense? I am a born celibate, Bala Brahmachari. No, I lived a pure life. What are you talking? I came to you for parabhakti. Then Ramanuja says, relax, go back, first learn falling in love with somebody. And come back, I can teach you parabhakti. Really, you need to experience at least one ray of that sacred sentiment. Actually, when you really fall in love, even in ordinary way, what you call as ordinary way, a ray of sacred sentiment will be awakened in you. Even with an ordinary person. Because at one point you may have to sacrifice the constant remembrance of me, which is a root of all suffering. You may have to just push that away for a few seconds. So that one moment you would have had that sacred sentiment experience, that one unit. That one unit is enough for you to grab what Andal would have felt with Krishna, or Meera would have felt with Krishna, or Manikyavasara would have felt with Shiva, or Ramana Maharshi would have felt with Arunachala. Read his marital garland for letters, marital garland of letters for Arunachala. Aksharamana Malai. Extreme, extreme, I don't have any word. If I have to say a naked Madhura Bhava. Yeah, unhidden, unclothed Mathura Bhava. I have not seen any deeper or naked Mathura Bhava work than Aksharamana Malai, the marital garland of letters put by Ramana Maharshi to Arunachala. I can never, when I really started deeply understanding, see, earlier when I used to see Bhagavan's photo and his teachings, that who am I and all that, I used to have a great respect. Of course, it's not that afterwards lost. A great, very untouchable respect. Oh, a great Avatara Purusha, just sitting in a deep calmness and peace and that eternal silence under a small hut, gazing the great hill on its silence, being immersed in the Satchitananda Aganda Paripurana Brahma Swarupa. The whole understanding and relationship was great. An elderly, amazing saint. Only when I read his Aksharamana Malai, the marital garland of letters, I thought, oh God. I can say in the initial level, my understanding about Ramana Maharshi was respect based, more dasabhava. When you see he opening up himself to Arunachala, and really it is a great opening up. Aru kavenai andanai agattidil agilam vazhittidum Arunachala. For whose sake, if I have to translate very crude form, you grabbed me, or you snatched me. Now, if you forsake me, the whole world will abuse you. What a secret or a personal, intimate, sacred sentiment. Aimbula kalvar agattinil pugumbodu agattini ilayo Arunachala. You are the owner of my house. You are supposed to be possessive of me. But these five senses, these thieves are coming and trying to rape me. Are you not aware? Are you a man? He is asking, Iduvo Anmai Arunachala. Are you a man? The greatness of the sacred sentiments is, you will feel so deeply connected to the person and the object to which the person is expressing the sentiment. See, for example, when Manikyavasaka sings about Arunachala, Shiva, it is not that when you read that sacred sentiment, you will feel connected only to the Shiva. You will feel connected to Manikyavasakar also. When Kabir sings on Ram, it is not that you will feel connected only to Ram. You will feel connected to Kabir also. Because he is letting you experience your intimacy. His intimacy with his beloved is opening up. Same way, when you know the sacred sentiments of Ramana Maharshi, It is not that you will feel connected only to Arunachala, you will feel connected to him also. So my whole relationship to Ramana Maharshi got completely changed when I understood the Aksharamana Malai. Oh God! Then this guy, when he is looking at Arunachala, what he must be thinking? I used to think earlier when he is gazing at Arunachala, oh, he is in Samadhi, great guy, just being in Nirvikalpa. This sacred sentiment of Kabir, I don't know who gave me the book. There's a beautiful book in my room, Love Songs of Kabir. I have read at least a few books on Kabir, but this selection was amazing. Some of these guys, Rumi, Kabir, is Manikya Vasagar, oh God. I feel just to enjoy these fellows, I want to assume more and more and more bodies. Nothing else. Just to enjoy these fellows. Is Kabir, Rumi, Manikya Vasagar. I tell you, a man who does not know how to enjoy sacred sentiments, he is missing one of the greatest inner gadget in his life. For example, if you guys are not having any of the outer gadgets like a cell phone, laptop, and any outer gadgets, just think of your life. Now if you just suddenly, overnight, all the gadgets from the outer world are not there with you, how you will feel? That's the same way these guys who don't know how to experience the sacred sentiments, they do not have the inner world gadgets. If you have the outer world gadgets, you can do so many things in the outer world. Same way, this enjoying the sacred sentiments is the inner world gadget. This sacred sentiment of Kabir, my senses are protruding, just feeling that you may come sometime to my heart to grab your form, but never do the mistake of coming because I don't know what will happen to me. And just because of this, there is nobody inside to process information and create social conditioning. So enlightenment happens as the side effect. So that is why these bhaktas don't care about jnana. Bhakta, these great devotees, don't care about enlightenment. Really, bhaktas don't care for jnana because when the senses protrude into something and being lost, there is nobody to create social conditioning. So, from the young age, enjoying sacred sentiment, that gadgets should be made available to all our kids. It's an instruction for N Vidyalaya. And all our devotees who have kids, they should take this as one more Smriti code. So every day in my morning satsangs, whenever I want, I will go on be revealing the Smriti codes. Let them take it. This is one more Smriti code. our devotees, disciples, followers who have kids should encourage, initiate and teach our kids how to enjoy sacred sentiments, either making them listen or read or understand or work with it. There are so many ways you can think, but enjoying sacred sentiment is a inner world gadget. And more, the teaching and learning process should be based on poetry as much as possible. Prose should be used only to make them understand poetry, that's all. Otherwise, the backbone of the teaching structure should be more poetry, so that they will learn more to be live with the existential reality than intellectual capability. So the essence of today's message is this sacred sentiment. Social conditioning happens in you when you constantly put yourself in others' positions, whether it clicks with you or does not click with you. If it clicks with you, you may create fear and greed. That becomes social conditioning. If it does not click with you, again there is a gap, and that becomes social conditioning. Stop doing that internal process, constant chewing, putting yourself in others' position. That's the first. Second, how to do. For the how to, the instruction for how to is learn to lose yourself in the sacred sentiments. Learn to lose yourself in the sacred sentiments. It's very easy. It is not a big thing. It is not a big thing. The moment I describe some sacred sentiment about love, if you just have that secret joy inside and that uncontrollable smile, then be very clear, you have the inner world gadget. You have that inner world gadget. Be proud about it. Celebrate you have it. Unfortunately, we take this all for granted. In the world, many people don't have. If you have, celebrate, enjoy. Whatever you celebrate will grow in you. And if you don't have, create. Create one. It is possible. It is possible. So, I have given clear goal and the path for not allowing more and more engrams accumulating in you and reliving the past, reliving it in the present, reviving your future. Rewiring your brain. With so much of knowledge, energy, intelligence, healing millions of people, initiating thousands of people, still some part of me is sitting like a child and shedding tears for Sivapuranam. And the Devaram. When I hear in that car or morning when I get up, and try to do my so-called body stretching, it will be very funny if you see. I'll try to hold the wall and do something. I can see very clearly that wall is begging, should I stand or move? Tell me what you want me to do. Because I'll be pushing, the wall feels, are you pushing me? Just tell me, at least I'll move. I'll tell, no, all you guys will be in your position. I am trying to do with something with my body, relax. Because I got some steel pieces, like dumbbells and all. The moment I try to hold and squeeze that elements, the molecules in the steel ask, should I change? Tell me what do you want me to do? Say, no, you remain in your place, in your shape. I don't want that. I am trying to do something with this structure. So, anyhow, even those few moments and those sacred sentiments, I hear this Devaram only, Devaram and Tiruvasam at that time. Oh God. Yaane poi, yen nenjum poi, yen anbum poi. See, he describes, I am a lie, my heart is a lie, my love is a lie, but vinayen, anal, vinayen, aludal unai peralame. Person with so much of karmas, vinayen means the person with so much of karmas. If I melt down, I can have you. See, I already had him. I am having him. So I don't need to feel melt down with the sacred sentiment. See, this idea, I am lie, my heart is lie, does not directly fit with me because whatever is the lie part has already disappeared. And the person with so much of karma, that also does not fit with me. I don't have any karma. And if I melt down, I can have you. That also does not fit with me. Already I have him. I have whatever need to be had. But even then, with all this, looking from the other shore, see there are two shores, a seeker and attained. Advaita and Dvaita. Tasting the water which runs in the other shore has always a secret taste. Sometimes I wonder, what is going on? And it is such a sweet feeling. It's like after you become a big guy, established guy, going back to your school and just looking around and donating them some money. See, when you are in the school, you are not enjoying. Now you are liberated from it. But you can go back and show who you are. Same way, now you are no more a seeker. That feeling, the other shore is not binding you. But you can just visit the other shore and from the other shore look at this shore. How it feels. The sacred sentiments gives you the joy of all sides of enlightenment. I tell you, sacred sentiment is the focus light put on all sides on a temple tower. See, Advaita Anubhuti, enlightenment experience like a temple tower. It stands. But the focus lights put on 8 direction, that suddenly lights the whole tower, and the whole tower is seen in a different perception. You experience the whole tower in a different way because of these few focus lights. The sacred sentiments are like different focus lights. Dasabhava, Matrubhava, Sakabhava and Maturabhava. The different Mahabhava, different focus lights to see the different dimensions of the temple tower. It's extraordinary. Sacred sentiments. I can say, sacred sentiments is the technique to clean your third layer past. Big Bang to this moment. Kabir. What a plane of consciousness these guys would have lived. What a space they would have floated. Sacred sentiments makes enlightenment as immediate. See, whatever makes your goal as a goal for you is jnana. Whatever makes your goal as immediate for you is bhakti. That's all is the definition. Anything makes your goal as immediate, it's bhakti. The sacred sentiments make the whole experience as now immediate. Yane poi, yen nenjum poi, yen anbum poi. If you just sit and see, the whole thing is true. Because any moment your mind can change. Any moment what you think as you changes. The very idea you have about you changes. Yane voi. Yen nenjum voi. My heart is alive. Very shallow. Morning it feels love, evening it feels hatred. Next day morning it feels agitated. By evening it feels irritated. And from third day, every time it feels irritated. And after third day, no change. En nenjum voi, en anbum voi. My love is a lie. If there is no reciprocation from the other side, it can just change and become a hatred. Then how can that be love? It just remains as love as long as there is a reciprocation from the other side. That is why in the initial level you can practice sacred sentiment only with a master because he reciprocates. Only after that you can practice that real sacred sentiments with the deities. In the initial level you need somebody who reciprocates. Because any sacred sentiment in you, love in you, will grow only if it is reciprocated. First master will make it as, he will reciprocate. So it will grow. Then he will stop reciprocating and turn that into Atma Bhakti. Means learning to grow in love without being reciprocated. That's where that pure solid love starts happening. But in the beginning, always the love which dies without reciprocation is the lie. Anal vinayen aludal unai peralame. But even though I am loaded with samskaras and karma, if I melt down, I can have you. God. What a mood this guy would have been living. This Manikya Vasagar, this sentiment is from him. He always lives outside the village. Wherever he goes to have the darshan of a temple, deity, Shiva temple, usually all the South Indian towns, the center will be temple and around the temple the village will be built. He will go and have darshan in the temple but come and stay only outside the village. Because this guy is in such a ecstasy, he can't wear clothes. See the extraordinary joy, the whole skin has become so soft, he can't wear clothes. Manikya Vasagar, if you see his life, always he will stay outside the city. Even in Tiruvannamalai, he stayed outside the city in a small village. He will go every day to temple and come back, come away. He will not stay in the city. Same way with Ramakrishna. Because always he was in that ecstasy, he can't wear the clothes. Let you all achieve and radiate enlightenment. Let you all achieve, live, experience, express, radiate the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you.